Better stay active. Alright, welcome back everyone. I am Shade, and I am Equality. And today we're doing part 2 of Equality's adventures with villain Todoroki. Last time we left off, Equality had teleported away with Katsuki Bakugo. So, we'll start from there. Appears in Shoto's hideout. The hideout is quiet. Dim light from a single lamp, dust motes floating in the air. Shoto sits in a warm couch. Deku still curled up in his lap, like a sleeping child. The moment you and Kachan appear, no sound, no warning. The room shifts. Teleportation always leaves an aftertaste. Cold air rushing for half a second, then stillness. Shoto's head snaps up instantly. His heterochromatic eyes lock onto you first, then widen slightly at the sight of Bakugo, standing beside you, looking pale and strangely calm. For the first time since he joined the villainy, Kachan isn't glaring. He just stares at Deku. Equality rushes over and kneels to get a better look at Deku. He's definitely been starved. Shoto, my crystal. Katsuki, grab some food and water. Shoto doesn't hesitate. The second you ask for the crystal, he pulls it from his coat pocket, the black and white gem pulsing softly, and hands it to you. You catch it in midair without looking, already focusing on Deku. The poor kid is skin and bones, his face sunken, collarbones sharp under his thin shirt. No muscle tone, just exhaustion and neglect carved into him. Meanwhile, Kachan, still processing everything, snaps out of his daze at your grabs some food. He turns towards the small kitchenette in the hideout. They keep rations there, and starts yanking open cabinets. Light, purge, and heal. Equality says, as both golden and green light emanates from her head. To Deku. The moment the words leave your lips, light, purge, and heal, a radiant glow erupts from your hands. Golden light, warm and pure like morning sun. Green light, soft as growing grass, life returning. They weave together in a shimmering aura around Deku's still body. The energy isn't aggressive or flashy. It seeks, gentle but powerful, diving into his cells, his bloodstream, and then it begins. Deku's shallow breath deepens slightly. His pale skin regains a hint of color, not fully yet. But the first flush of life returns after weeks, maybe months of starvation. The golden green light pulses over him like waves on a shore. Come on, Midoriya, wake up. The light continues to flow steady and healing, but you lean in close, voice firm, yet soft. Come on, Midoriya, wake up. You say it like a command, not harsh, but filled with quiet urgency, like you're pulling him back from the edge of something dark. The golden-green glow wraps around his chest, then his face. Deku's eyelids, pale lashes pressed shut for so long, twitch. A tiny movement, almost imperceptible. But there, for the first time in days, maybe weeks, he stirs. Not awake yet, but not completely under either. Izuku, you are still needed. Please, come to the light. Your voice is soft, but unwavering. Reaches into the void where Deku's mind has been drifting. Izuku, you're still needed. Please, come to the light. The words aren't loud, but they carry weight, the kind that cuts through darkness. And this time, Deku breathes deeper. A real breath, not just instinctive gasping for air. Then his chest rises and falls, stronger now. His fingers curl slightly against Shoto's sleeve, weak at first, like a newborn learning to grip. The golden green light pulses brighter around him, as if responding to your plea, as if life itself is pushing back decay. Deku, wake up. Deku's eyes flutter, once, twice, fighting against heaviness of weeks, maybe months, of unconsciousness and starvation. The light isn't just healing his body now, it's reaching him, pulling him at his spirit. And then his eyes open. Not wide, not fully focused yet, but they're open. Glassy with exhaustion, unfocused, but alive. For a second, he doesn't seem to recognize anything. The room, Shoto holding him, Kachan frozen by the kitchen counter. Just soft, golden light washing over his face, and your voice calling him back. Focus, Izuku. Deku's unfocused eyes blink slowly, once, twice, struggling to adjust. The light is too bright. Everything is too much. Sound, smell, the weight of his body on Shoto's lap. But you don't let up. Focus, Izuku. Your voice cuts through the haze, not sharp or angry, but insistent, like a lighthouse guiding someone lost at sea. And slowly, so painfully slowly, his vision clears. First, the blur fades, then shapes form, the ceiling, Shoto's worried face hovering over him, Kachan standing frozen by the counters with food in hand, and finally, your face. She smiles. Welcome back, hero. The second you smile and call him hero, something cracks inside Deku. Not emotionally, well, maybe a little, but all the weight of the world, a tiny title he hasn't been called in so long. Not since before Shigaraki got to him, not since One for All went dormant under layers of corruption and pain. Tears welled up instantly, silent, shaky, overwhelmed tears. His cracked lips parted slightly, as if trying to speak, but no sound came out yet. He can't cry out loud, can't scream or shout like Kachan would. Just quiet sobs rolling down his pale cheek, the kind like someone who thought they would never have been called a hero again. Equality slowly helps him sit up. My name is Equality. I was the one who healed you. Can you speak? Deku's body is weak, muscles atrophy from months of inactivity. You gently help him sit up. He sways slightly, his arms trembling as they try to support his weight. Shoto instinctively moves to steady him on the other side. You keep a firm but soft grip on Deku's shoulder, the golden light still faintly pulsing around you like a protective aura. And when you ask, my name is Equality. I was the one who healed you. Can you speak? Deku swallows hard, his throat dry from lack of water and disuse. Then, with effort, a whisper. Yes. Bakugo, water, now. Kachan doesn't hesitate this time. The second you say, Bakugo, water, now, he's already moving, grabbing a plastic bottle of clean water from the counter where he had set it earlier. He rushes over, not roughly, but with urgency, kneels beside Deku. Without a word, and for once without sarcasm or yelling, Kachan twists the cap off and holds the bottle out towards him. Deku stares at it, eyes wide, throat dry as sandpaper, but his hands are shaky, too weak to grip properly. Help him. Without missing a beat, you and Kachan move in perfect sync, unexpectedly coordinated for two people who've never worked together before. You support Deku's back with one arm, keeping him upright. Kachan leans in, gently lifts the water bottle to Deku's lip, tilting it just enough so a slow trickle of water flows into his mouth. Deku gulps weakly at first, then more desperately. Each swallow is shaky but necessary. His body drinks it like a dying plant finally getting rain. A few drops escape down his chin. He hasn't had a real hydration in who knows how long. The water bottle empties fast. Kachan keeps it tilted, making sure Deku gets every drop. When the last of it's gone, he pulls the bottle away and watches Deku sag slightly against you, exhausted from every small act. Even that small act. But his breath is better now. His color, still pale, but not gray anymore. The healing light had already done a lot, but hydration helped more than anyone realized. Kachan stares at him, not angry or guilt. Not right this second, but just relief, raw and quiet. Then he grabs another bottle, already opening it for round 2. Equality holds her hand up. Slow down. Let his body adjust. Kachan freezes mid-motion, bottle halfway open, water ready to pour. You raise your hand, calm but firm. Slow down. Let his body adjust. He blinks at you, then actually listens. For once, Kachan doesn't argue or push away with his usual more is better approach. Or push ahead. He remembers Deku hasn't eaten in weeks. His stomach is probably shrunken from starvation. Drinking too much water too fast could make him sick. So instead of shoving the bottle back to him, Kachan closes it and waits. Shoto, can you get food? Something not too heavy, like crackers or soup. Shoto nods instantly. No question, no hesitation. He sets Deku down gently on the couch, propping a pillow behind him to keep him from slumping too far. Then he's up, moving quietly but fast towards the small kitchenette, the same one Kachan had been raiding earlier. He starts rumbling through the cabinets, pushing aside cans of beans and dried meat, until he finds it. A pack of saltine crackers, and further back, a can of chicken noodle soup. Chicken soup that they save for emergencies. No heavy meals. Nothing greasy or filling. Just something light that won't overwhelm Deku's weak stomach. Shoto grabs the crackers and soup, then heads to a small portable stove in the corner, the kind that runs on butane. He lights it quickly, placing the can on the can of soup over low heat. The crackers stay on a plate beside him, ready to be handed off whenever Deku is stable enough for them. Back on the couch, Kachan keeps watching Deku like a hawk, arms crossed again now that he is not actively force-feeding water. The anger isn't gone, but it's buried under something quieter. Concern, regret. Deku just sits there, weakly, still processing everything. Equality sits beside him, gently brushing his hair with her fingers. Deku flinches just slightly. at the first brush of your fingers through his messy green hair. It's been so long since anyone's touched him with gentleness. Not force, not punishment, just softness. But he doesn't pull away. Instead, he breathes slowly. His breathing slows again. The tension in his thin shoulders ease a little as you carefully comb through the tangled strands with your fingertips. Your touch is warm, calm, like sunrise on a grassy afternoon after rain. And for Deku, that small act feels monumental, like being human again. Deku leans almost imperceptibly into your touch, his head tilting slightly towards your hand like a cat seeking attention. His eyes flutter shut for a moment, the first real peace he has felt in who knows how long. No words, no sobbing, just being held, being cared for. The soup simmers softly on the stove now, the smell starting to fill the hideout. Mild chicken broth with vegetables, comfort food, safe food. Shoto keeps an eye on it, stirring it occasionally to make sure it doesn't burn. Kacchan, still watching Deku, but quieter now. The three of you are safe. That's the first part completed. Now we rest and help Deku recover. The room settles into something peaceful, rare for a villain hideout, which is unusual, is usually tense with plotting or anger, but right now it feels safe. You're all here together. No Shigaraki, no league breathing down their necks, just quiet, the soft simmering of soup, the occasional rustle of fabric, and someone shifting position. Deku is still weak, but stable. His color has improved slightly thanks to hydration and your healing light. The crackers and soup will help next, once they are ready. Shoto finishes cooking. He pours the warm broth into a bowl, no solid chunks yet, and grabs a spoon. Kacchan takes it from him without being asked, ready to feed Deku if needed. Kacchan sits beside Deku on the couch, holding the warm bowl of soup carefully, the steam rising in soft curls, filling the air with a comforting scent. He doesn't shove it at him. Instead, he blows gently on the smooth on the spoonful to cool it, then lifts it towards Deku's lips. Eat, he says, not harshly, like usual, just quiet, firm, but not demanding. Deku blinks at him. At first, confused, Kacchan helping me? But hunger wins over shock. Slowly, weakly, he opens his mouth. Deku takes the first sip of soup, small, cautious. The warm broth is gentle on his throat, easy to swallow. It's not much, but it's food. Real nutrition going into his body for the first time in days. Kacchan watches him closely, not with annoyance or impatience, like usual, but careful focus, making sure Deku can handle it. And when Deku swallows without choking, Kacchan scoops another spoonful. No rush, no force feeding, just one bite at a time. Shoto sits across from them, eating a cracker quietly, keeping watch over everything like a silent guardian. One second. Alright. Shoto, your fire. Why didn't you use it to heat the soup? Shoto glances up at your question, his heterochromatic eyes calm. No defensiveness, just quiet explanation. Didn't want to risk overheating it, he says simply. Deku's stomach is weak. If the soup was too hot or burned, it could make him sick. That's why he used the stove. Controlled flames, slow heat, not his ice and fire quirk. Because yeah, Shoto could have used a tiny burst of fire to warm things faster. But villains like him, they train not to rely on quirks for everyday stuff. Unless absolutely necessary. Plus, this was about being careful with Deku, not showing off power. Equality nods as if he had given the right answer, then turns to Bakugo. And you're not yelling at him. Kachan freezes mid-scoop. Spoon still hovering over the soup bowl. You're not yelling at him. And you were right. Usually Kachan would have been shouting by now, snapping about how slow Deku is eating, complaining on his useless or taking too damn long. But right now, he's feeding him quietly, patiently, even cooling the spoonfuls on purpose. No anger, no explosions of frustration, just silence and care. Kachan slowly looks up at you, no defense, but almost like he realized it himself. I'm not being an asshole for once. Why? Kachan stares at you, spoon still in hand. The question hangs in the air, simple but heavy. Why? Not angry, not sarcastic, just genuinely confused. Like he didn't even know why he was not... like he doesn't even know why he's not yelling. Like his own behavior is foreign to him right now. He looks down at Deku, really looks, at how thin and fragile he is, how quietly, obediently he has been taking each tiny sip of soup like a child being fed, and something clicks. Maybe it's because this isn't about strength or pride anymore. Maybe because Deku is almost dead, almost died. Or maybe Kachan finally sees what they've all become while Shigaraki held him captive. Equality nodded, as if she already knew, then looked down at Deku. You held on to hope, even when lost in darkness. Why? Question lands soft, like a feather, but heavy as a mountain. You held on to hope, even when lost in darkness. Why? Deku's tired eyes lift to yours. He doesn't answer right away, because the truth is messy. It wasn't hope that kept him going at first. Not faith or optimism. It was pain. Pain from being captured. From Shigaraki's corruption gnawing at his mind. From knowing Kachan had joined the villains. He couldn't save anyone, not even himself. But then, a whisper of something else returned. Deku's voice is weak, hoarse from disuse and dehydration. But it comes, a soft, broken whisper. I couldn't give up. No dramatic, not heroic sounding, just honest. He swallows another small sip of soup, then continues. Because if I did, Everyone who believed in me would have Everyone who believed in me would have been wasted. My mom caught John before he changed. All Might. A tear slipped down his cheek, not sadness, not anger. Purpose. That tiny light, that stubborn, I'm not dying here thought. It never fully died. The room is quiet. So quiet you can hear that soft click of a spoon against Deku's bowl as Kachan lifts another bite. Your words hang in the air, gentle but profound. And Deku, he doesn't look away from you. There's something in his tired green eyes, the kind of understanding like he knows you're not just asking for curiosity. You're seeing him, not a symbol, not a hero figure or a victim, just Izuku, a boy who refused to disappear, even when everything screamed that he should. Kachan stopped eating, for a second. Shoto watched quietly too, both absorbing what they just said. Okay, Kachan was not the one eating. Whatever. Equality turns to Shoto. Where's Yagi now? Shoto's expression darkened slightly at the name All Might, or Yagi, as Deku used to call him, the symbol of peace, the man who passed one for all down and failed to protect Deku in the end. He answered quietly, gone. A single word, no emotion, just fact. All Might had vanished after that night. That night, Shigaraki attacked UA, burned it all down, took Deku captive. No body, no funeral, just silence. The public thought he was dead, or retired forever from trauma, but no one knew for sure. Equality stood up, gently setting Deku back against the couch, then vanished. The moment you stand, the air shifts, a subtle but noticeable. The warmth of your healing light fades slightly as you step back from Deku. Without a word, without a fanfare, you vanish. No flash, no sound, just gone like a breath leaving a room. Deku blinks slowly at the empty space where you've been sitting a second ago. Still weak, still half swallowed by exhaustion, but now with something new flickering in his eyes. Wonder, confusion, gratitude. Kachan stares at the spot too, spoon hovering again. Shoto doesn't react outwardly, but his jaw tightens just slightly. She reappears at the edge of UA's ruins and looks around before shouting, Toshinori, show yourself. I know you are here. All Might, Deku is safe. He's alive. So are Shoto and Katsuki. The winds howl through the broken halls of UA, crumbling classrooms, shattered windows, and burnt hallways filled with silence. The school is a ghost of what it once was, and symbol of peace turned to ruin. You stand at the edge, hooded cloak flapping slightly in the breeze, and shout into the void. Toshinori, show yourself. I know you're here. No one answers at first. Just dust, echoes, then a soft crack. like footprints on debris. From behind a collapsed wall, a figure emerges, tall, broad-shouldered, warm blue hero suit torn in places, but still recognizable. And beneath the sunken face, tired eyes filled of hope or grief. You're still holding on. All Might steps forward slowly, like a man who hasn't walked in weeks. His body is thinner than it used to be, the muscle mass gone, the glow of his hero persona dimmed by time and trauma. But his eyes, they're alive, wide, searching, hopeful. Then you say you're still holding on, and something in him cracks. A shudder runs through him, not from fear or weakness, but from relief, or so overwhelming it nearly drops into his knees. He hasn't seen Deku since that night, hasn't known if he was dead, or worse, corrupted beyond saving. Equality walked closer, then hugged him. Let go. I am here. Please, return to your normal state. The moment you step forward and wrap your arms around All Might, something breaks inside of him. He freezes at first, stiff like a statue. No one has touched him with kindness in so long. Not since the fall of UA. Not since he vanished from society. But then he collapsed into the hug. All Might, once untouchable, invincible, the symbol of peace, crumbles like a man finally allowed to cry. His broad shoulders shake. A choked sound escapes his throat. Then another, and then he sobs. Not loud or dramatic, just quiet, raw weeping, the kind that comes after months, maybe years of holding everything in. Your embrace is warm, solid. Toshinori Yagi, I am here. One for All is safe. You can let go of it now. All Might, Toshinori, shakes in your arms, his breath coming in ragged, tearful gasp. The weight of One for All has been crushing him for decades. The power passed from user to user since the first generation, and he carried it through wars, loss, and finally retirement. But now, you're saying something impossible. One for All is safe. And worse or better, you can let go. Not just emotionally. He could release the quirk, no longer needed. Deku was alive. The symbol could live on without him suffering anymore. His sob retches out of him, louder this time, as if those words unlocked a door inside that had been sealed shut by guilt. Slowly trembling, Toshinori pulls back from the hug, just enough to look at you. His face is wet with tears, his expression raw and vulnerable. In a way no one has seen since he was a young man. He stares into your eyes, as if searching for proof. Is this real? Can I really let go? One for All, the power that defined him, that saved lives but so broke him. And now, you're telling him it's safe, that Deku is alive, that the legacy isn't lost. A shaky breath, another tear rolls down, then, without another word, Toshinori closes his eyes. Toshinori Yagi raises his hands, trembling slightly, not in fear, but in solemnity, like a man about to return something sacred after holding it for far too long. And then it happens. A golden light, not blazing, not explosive, begins to emanate from his body, soft at first, familiar, the essence of one for all. The accumulated power passed through generations. The will of all its previous users, and Toshinori's final connection to it. They are hums with quiet energy, no force, no resistance, just release. Equality watches as he returns to his skinny form, resembling the old man he truly was. The golden light pulses once, bright, then gentle. As it fades, Toshinori Iyaji shrinks. Not dramatically, no flashy transformation. But the weight lifts. His broad shoulders sag. The artificial muscle mass of that one-for-all had sustained for years, gone. Now standing in front of you is a frail, elderly man. The real Toshinori, wrinkled skin, silvered white hair, messy from weeks of hiding, and a thin frame beneath his torn hero suit. He's small now, frail looking. No aura of invincibility left. Just a tired old man who carried too much for too long. But his eyes, they are free. She smiles, then offers her hand. Let's go. And that's where we'll end it for right now. Tune in for part 3. And remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when we upload. And don't forget to leave a comment down below. Farewell, and have a great night or day.